What's going on, XRP Army? Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, kick back, relax, but I'm going to ask you all to skip ahead to the 5-minute mark. I'm going to give a stream time to get warmed up and get some people in here. This is not my normal time for streaming, so I want to give everyone an opportunity to catch their notifications and get in here because we do have a lot of information to cover. Some big news just popped up in the Fed, more than I was expecting, so I want to make sure I cover that with you all because I do think it is important. Anyway, so skip ahead to the 5-minute mark. I don't want to waste your time. And other than that, as people come in, I will let them know that we are also doing the same thing. But we did get news. We did get our Fed rate cut and the price sold off as we anticipated, but it also bounced off the level that we were anticipating as well. So we're going to cover all of that info here in just a little bit as soon as some people get in the stream. Again, skip ahead to the 5-minute mark. And that's when everything will really kick off and begin. In the meantime, hopefully we got some people in the stream. The chat's been kind of slow. So hopefully someone can hop in the chat here, let me know how things are going on that side of things, because I can't see how many people are in the stream. Again, if you're coming into the stream, we're going to hang out till the 5-minute mark, give people time to get in, let the stream buffer in, test the audio, make sure everything is good. And then we will cover all of the information we have to cover. The chat is very important in my streams. I engage with everybody in the chat. So let me know as you guys are coming in. Hopefully we have a few people strolling in here by now, since we do finally have some liquidity entering the markets, which is going to be massive for XRP and could also, unfortunately, unwind the carry trade. Lots to talk about. Hopefully there's some people in the stream. Do I have anyone in the chat yet? Again, if you're coming in, we're giving it to the 5-minute mark to let a few people get in here and get things rolling before I start covering the information, because we do have some great information about XRP today. There was a nice little pump fake. People thought it was going to start shooting up after the rate cuts, but that's not what happened, was it? Unfortunately. Do we have anyone in the stream yet? I have no one in the chat. Anybody, everybody, somebody. Again, waiting for the 5-minute mark. So hopefully we get a couple people in here. So otherwise, otherwise I can talk rate cuts and quantitative easing and quantitative tightening to myself. That wouldn't be fun, but I do what I gotta do. Almost to the 3-minute mark, not a single person in the chat. Anybody out there? Again, waiting for 5 minutes before I start feeding the information out there. Tool Ralph. What's up there, Ralph? Thank you for letting me know you are here. I appreciate you. I'm waiting for the 5-minute mark before I get things kicked off, just trying to get a few people in the stream at least. Can you let me know how many people are in the stream there, Ralph? I'd really appreciate that. I can't view it on my end from this broadcast software that I'm using. But aside from that, again, we will be starting at the 5-minute mark, just giving some time for people to get in the stream before I start shelling out all the info. We got rate cuts today. We got some extra news today on top of that, as well as some information on exchanges. What's available on exchanges is a whole bunch of stuff just popping up today. Rolling up on the 4-minute mark. All right, we're going to give it one more minute and then I'll get going. Hopefully we get some people in the chat, but I will get things started here in just a little bit. There's 7 people total in the stream. I appreciate that, Ralph. Thank you very much. Again, I'm going to get everything started at the 5-minute mark and we'll get everything covered. Jesus is king. The world became flesh. Welcome to the stream there. All right, we'll give it another 30 seconds. And now they're saying we're up to 23 people. Lovely. See, it usually takes about 5 minutes for people to get the notifications and for things to get out there, or 13. Okay. Usually takes about 5 minutes. But here in just a few seconds, I'll get started. Lots of good info coming up the pipeline with rate cuts and potential quantitative easing. Welcome, Kingdom Builder, Puerto Rico. All right, we're at the 5 minute mark. I am going to get started. Here we go. All right. What's up, XRP Army? Welcome to the stream. If it's your first time here, kick back, relax. I'm not going to ask you to do anything, but if it's your second time, I need you to hit subscribe, smash the like button, and for everyone, please engage in the chat. The chat is the lifeblood of the stream. So what I do is I'll hop into the chart. We'll cover the price action. I'll go through ETF inflows, and then I'll also cover all news, which we have major news from the Fed today. So we'll cover all news, and then I will hop in and speak with everyone in the chat. And then from there, we'll do a recap. Once we get through that, if the chat stays active, we'll just hang out and party. For now, though, let's hop into the price chart. If it'll pop up there it goes. So earlier today, when we did the noon stream, I'm hopping in here for a second stream because we got the Fed information. But when we did the noon stream earlier, we put in this triangle. And I said I was looking at, or this wedge, triangle, whatever you want to call it, pennant, whatever. We put in this wedge, and I said I was looking for it to pull back and tap off of this line during the rate cut announcements because I was expecting a sell the news event from the rate cut, and it looks like it did exactly that. We came back and tapped it once, twice, 3 times now. So I'm looking for this to run up, and hopefully we can get a break above 220. If it falls below this wedge here at the 205 line, then $2 is still our support. But again, this is just for context. We are here for the long view. We're not here for what the price is doing today or tomorrow. We're here for what it's going to be a week from now, or not a week from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now even. We are here for the long view, and that is why we track the ETF inflows. That is why we see what's happening with the macro, right? The macro element of the economy with Fed rate cuts and repo markets and quantitative tightening and quantitative easing and all these things that we don't know half of what they mean, but we need to understand at least what they do or have a basic understanding so we can understand what's going to happen in the future, because you can predict some of this stuff. So that being said, let's hop up to the ETF inflows and see what we did today. $27 million of ETF inflows today. So still a good day, even though the price is slightly down. Still great ETF inflows today. 21 shares, again, is being teased out there. Should be going live, I'm going to guess Monday, but we still don't have an official date. They updated with the SEC today. So hopefully we'll get some information on that in the very near future. But still sitting at 2053 right now. And as you guys have questions, make sure you put them in the chat, engage in the chat, talk to me in the chat, and put your thoughts in there, your thesis, what you guys think will happen. Let me know. The chat has to be active. I need all of you. Let's cover ETF inflows. Let me see if these even updated from noon today. Now that the market's closed, I don't even know if they'll update, but I'll check Franklin Templeton here. It was at 78 million this morning, or at noon today, noon Central Time today. See if it had any change today. No change for Franklin Templeton. Grayscale was at 104 million. Still at 104 million. Again, I refreshed these at noon today. Canary Capital was at 169. I'll skip over Rex Osprey. It never does anything. And Bitwise, no change. So yeah, no change since noon today. But you can see, we check, if you're new to the stream, we check every single day what is going into and out of as far as physical XRP holdings in the trust directly from the ETF issuer websites. We track what's actually physically being locked up in custody. That being said, so let's talk about the Fed. What happened with the Fed? We got our rate cut today. We all knew that was going to happen, but decisions, this is straight from the Fed. I wanted to highlight this very key point here. So we already know about the rate cut, but they're going to increase the system open market account holdings of securities through purchases of treasury bills. If needed, other treasury securities remaining maturities of 3 years or less to maintain ample level reserves. So what exactly does this mean? This is saying basically they are going to be inserting money. They need liquidity. There's tightening on the repo markets. They are inserting liquidity through the treasury or through treasury securities on the front end to help relieve some of that pressure while they're waiting for the rate cuts to work. So it's basically like stealth quantitative easing, essentially, is what they're doing. It's just loading up the front end of it. Let's see here. XRP news. New rules push Ripple toward official U.S. banking recognition. So the U.S. Office of the Comptroller of Currency has issued new guidance that could reshape how traditional finance interacts with digital assets. The regulator said banks can now act as intermediates for crypto transactions through riskless principal activities. This means a bank can temporarily buy crypto asset and then sell it to another customer without taking market risk. Why this matters for Ripple's bank ambitions. Ripple may be one of the biggest beneficiaries of this shift. In July, CEO Brad Garlinghouse confirmed that Ripple has applied for a national bank charter from the OCC. If approved, Ripple would sit at both state oversight at the NYDFS and federal oversight from the OCC. This would make Ripple one of the first companies in the stablecoin space to operate with full banking permissions. Garlinghouse also went on to talk about the Fed Master account, which we already know. There was rumors going around on X yesterday saying that the bank charter is basically a done deal, that they're going to become a fully licensed bank. Again, rumor, not fact. We're trying to decide what's what here, but we all know that a national bank charter would be allowed to custody digital assets, offer lending services, and gain direct access. I can't talk today. Direct access to Fed systems, including FedNow, U.S. Instant Payments Network. This could increase the number of payment settlement use cases that tie back to XRP, especially in cross-border flows. So, still waiting on the bank charter. BlackRock and Larry Fink invest 125 million in Bitcoin. That's not really any big thing. We've already I covered the whale accumulation. Whales accumulate 340 million in tokens. I covered that in today's noon live stream. But really, I want to talk to you guys about the quantitative easing and the quantitative tightening, because this kind of lays out. Basically, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Let me hop out of here real quick. So with the quantitative tightening, with the rate cut I expected, I was not expecting them to start putting in easing and start injecting liquidity into the system right at this point, which they are. So that is going to amplify the reverse carry trade. It amplifies the entire timeline of this thing. So I actually asked, I took all of my research I've been doing for the last month and I put it in GPT. I put it in Chat GPT and asked it to give me a timeline of everything that's unfolded. And this is what it gave me. I thought this was interesting. I wanted to share it with you guys. So this is all the research I've done talking about, G Treasury, all the acquisitions, everything we've discussed over the last 2 months, basically. And man, this stinks. Albert Garcia, what stinks? Fed cut interest rates by 0.25 percentage point and more rate cut coming simultaneously. BTC will bounce back to all-time high anytime soon. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Absolutely. We're getting the 0.25 point cut. We're getting easing. So basically, here's what's going on. Liquidity shift begins now through January 26th. This is what GPT thinks of my research. Rate cut of 0.25%. We just had quantitative tightening effectively ends, and Fed resumes T-bill purchases stealth QE. Reserves increase, liquidity rises, dollar softens, funding pressure eases. I'm sorry if you guys were expecting the rates to shoot up today. Again, we've been talking about a sell the news event all week on the Fed rate cuts. We expected this to happen, but we were not expecting them to start easing. So we were just talking about this. So now the Fed's going to start resuming the T-bill purchases. This is a stealth quantitative easing, essentially. This is another tactic to increase the money supply on top of the rate cuts. However, this is going to have an impact on the carry trade. Yen strengthens as the US dollar weakens. This kind of printing is going to weaken the US dollar. US dollar funded positions start to unwind. Capital rotates into regulated ETF markets. We're going to see people start switching out of holding the actual physical traded standard crypto token and more into an ETF because they're going to view it as more secure. Not to mention tokenization is ramping up, and these are going to start to be traded 24/7. So essentially, you'll be able to buy and hold ETF shares, tokenized ETF shares that are custodied by the institution without actually holding the crypto itself. It doesn't make sense to me why someone would want to do that, but I believe they are. Let's see here. So regulation comes this January. This January, we have the SEC innovation exemption expected. We have the DAT reclassification ruling on January 15th. There's a start of a clearer rule book for institutions. Don't forget, I actually did a clip earlier today of 2 senators discussing how there is nothing holding back clarity, and we are expected to have that soon. So I would expect that in January as well, the way they're talking. So XRP market structure right now, currently as it stands right now, there's over 1.2 billion assets under management across spot ETFs, 16 days of straight consecutive inflows, 1 billion XRP removed from exchanges in 3 weeks, $1 billion worth of XRP removed from exchanges in 3 weeks, 500 million plus total XRP. Exchange supply drops below price for first time ever. What does that mean? Let me get out of here. When we say the exchange drops below price for the first time ever, what does that mean? I'm pulling up this right here. Where'd it go? This one. Pulling up this right here. So this is showing the exchange reserves over the last 30 days. Yeah. Oh, this is showing since February 25, but you can see here since November, we have crossed under this price. It's the first time it has ever happened by this amount. The available supply is fading very, very fast versus what the actual price is. So this is the first time over $1.3 billion worth of exchanges gone between the last 3 weeks. That's what this is showing. 1.3 billion gone in 3 weeks from exchanges. $1.3 billion worth gone. So back to this. So exchange supply is dropping faster than we've ever seen it drop before. And then we get into phase 2. So it's predicting between February and May, based on all the research we've done, that Fed easing will continue, carry trade will continue to unwind and stabilize, ETF inflows accelerate across markets. Regulation, markets absorb the January rulings. Don't forget, DAT reclassifications potentially in January, plus Clarity Act potentially in January. Institutional comfort increases, more crypto and index ETFs are approved. XRP dynamics ETFs will keep eating 10 to 15 million XRP per day. Whales and OCC accumulation continue. Exchange supply tightens further. Ripple's infrastructure rollout expands. So this is predicting phase 3. It's predicting a repricing in June to September. So based on all of the data, it is predicting repricing of XRP between June and September for the full unwind, carry trade unwind, and supply shock to take effect. Yeah, there's over 100 billion, so 99 billion to go. But that is all the information. But the big important piece is that we didn't just get the rate cut. We also got some form of quantitative easing, since they are going to be buying treasury bills and things like that. They are injecting liquidity into the front end of it. At least over the next 3 years. That's what they were saying. So we got the rate cuts plus liquidity. That being said, let's hop into the chat. I appreciate you, Jesus is King. Thank you very much for helping me keep track of who is in the stream. Thank you very much. Let's see. Alberto Garcia says we just got to wait. That's right. We're here for the long haul. We're not here for what the price is today. We're here for what the price is going to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. It's a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. Jake's prediction made me angry. 100 to 750 by the end of the year. I bet we get nothing. A big fat zero BS. And that's the sad thing. And that is the one bad thing I hate about the crazy off the wall predictions that go out there, is it makes it harder for everyone else who's out here trying to give you all real information, because no one wants to listen to me talk about, XRP going to maybe $7 by the end of the year, which to me is still an amazing return. That's a 3x and a 3x in 3 weeks, but people think that's nothing. It's a matter of time. I'm here for what XRP is going to be 20 years from now. So I agree with you, Albert, and Hawaii Rider. I agree with you all. It's a bunch of BS. Jesus is King says Jake is wrong until he's right. Yeah, I mean that's kind of how we all are, aren't we? We're wrong until we're right. Eventually, the price will go up, I believe. Albert says he's here for the long haul. That's right. That's what we're here for, the long haul. Hawaii Rider says almost 4 years I've been holding XRP, and we're talking about another 5 years. I'll be too old to enjoy, so what's the point? Well, I don't know how old you are, but I mean, I'm 41. I've been holding XRP on, well, I've been holding now since 2023. I originally got into it in 2019, but I had to liquidate in 2022. So, I mean, I've been around XRP for 6 years and I plan on holding for another 20. But I do think we are going to see a lot of rapid appreciation in the next year or two. My opinion, not financial advice. Um, let's see. There's over 100 billion XRP, so we got over 99 billion to go. Well, now there's not 99 billion sitting out there available for people to purchase, but you know, it is what it is. Snowballs are small at first. That's right. Snowballs are small at first. And thank you to everyone who's joining the stream. I'll go ahead and do a recap for you all. We went ahead and went through over all the information. I'm engaging with the chat right now. But if you guys are new to stream, I go through all the information and I come through and I engage in the chat. If you have any questions, opinions, thoughts, concern, we'll discuss it. The chat is the lifeblood of the stream. But for now, I'll go ahead and recap the information that we covered. Catch you all up if you came in late, but engage in the chat. I want to talk to all of you. So, quick recap for everyone who came in late. Currently, the price is at 205. It did hit our wedge support that we drew out this morning / at noon today. If we fall below the wedge, our support is $2. And if we fall through this wedge, our support's at $2. And then we have resistance sitting at 221. Sorry, my brain got sidetracked there. We covered ETF holdings and ETF inflows. Today we had inflows. Oops, wrong button. Today we had inflows of 27 million. So another day consecutive positive ETF inflows. Franklin Templeton is holding 78 million XRP. Grayscale is holding 104 million XRP. Canary Capital is holding 169 million XRP. Rex Osprey is holding just under 30 million XRP. Bitwise is holding 94,500,000 XRP. 21 shares filed an update with the SEC. We are expecting to see them live next week, hopefully, but we've heard this before. On X, we showed that the exchange supply for XRP has fallen rapidly. 1.35 billion worth of XRP has left exchanges over the last 3 weeks. Rapid exodus of XRP from exchanges. We talked about new rules from the OCC helping Ripple getting more into the bank pockets. You can look at this one as well. Whales accumulating 340 million tokens while retail panic sells. And we also went through GPT's prediction of what it thought of my research. GPT predicts a price breakout by June to September of next year, based on my research, not financial advice. That being said, that is the recap. Let's take a look at the chat. Let's see here. Hawaii Rider says, sorry, he's mad this morning. You know, when the price goes down, it's never a good day. That's why, I mean, I check the price every day with you all, but I'm completely emotionally detached from that price because I'm worried about what it's going to be 5, 10, 15 years from now. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. So let's see here. Cynthia says, appreciate the daily updates. No hype or selling, just quality updates. That's what I'm trying to do. I track it every day. I like tracking it every day, and hopefully I can provide some value to you all and help you with it. And I provide my 2 cents, but hopefully you can think about things yourself, come up with your own thesis, and you know, we can all engage and have an XRP army hangout and a chat party. I'm just here providing the information I'm finding for you all and letting you guys make up your own damn minds. I don't need to sell you nothing. But apparently that's all I do in my shorts is sell people. I don't know. Let's see here. Every day, another ETF buying up all of the supply. That's right. Yeah, Wisdom Tree. I didn't say it here, but if you missed my stream earlier today, Wisdom Tree put in an S1 filing with the SEC for their index ETF with a 19% weight for XRP. And I do really think that the index ETFs are going to be the new wave for crypto as far as institutional money coming in, because you know, think about it. The average person isn't going to want to research individual tokens and find out which one's which or which one's better. They're going to want to just have a broad, you know, they're going to want to have a broad approach to it kind of like investing in the S&P 500. So I could totally see, mom and dad and uncle and Tom and Dick and Harry and whoever else going and buying index ETFs. I really do think that's going to be a major flow of money over the next year or two, is going to be the index ETFs. Let's see here. Carnivore says, give the man a like, guys. Great work. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, hit the like button. Engage in the chat, guys. The more we engage and the more we talk, the larger the stream is going to go. The more questions you guys ask, and the more, heck, debate me. If you want to argue with something I'm saying, let's hear it. I'm tired of getting all the wishy-washy comments. Let's hear it in chat when I can defend myself openly. Carnivore says, with all the stuff happening with Ripple, this feels like 100% theater pricing. Looks all planned. Canary Capital, the coal mine. Canary, the 169 million. You have to think, we're talking about getting to $1.2 billion worth of assets. So really that's closer to 600,000. Yeah. 600,000 XRP. So if we're talking about 600,000 XRP, and we're talking about 16 or 17 consecutive days of inflows, that's since Canary Capital launched on the 14th. That's not counting the fact that those other ETFs launched a week or two later. And we have more ETFs coming. God forbid if BlackRock gets involved. Vanguard is just now starting to let their customers buy the Bitwise ETF. We haven't even felt the full function of this yet. It's probably going to be another month or two before we really start feeling the weight of all this buying pressure from these ETFs. Yes, spot ETFs must hold the actual crypto. That's why we go through and look at the actual holdings every single day. So we pull up Franklin Templeton right here and show you guys. You can actually go into every single individual ETF. This is Franklin Templeton's. You can see XRP in fund as of December 9th, as of yesterday, was 78,200,689. So yeah, spot ETFs and spot index funds actually have to hold the physical asset and disclose what they are holding. So that's why we check that. I don't check how many millions of inflows are going in as far as what's being bought and sold. I look at what was actually scooped up that day, because that's all we really care about. We want the supply to go down. Supply goes down, price goes up eventually. It will happen. That's why we trace it this way. Like they did it on purpose with Canary Capital. They love their symbol hints. Be thankful they are giving the average person time before the blast off. I mean, yeah, really, I'm actually shocked it's taking this long. With all the acquisitions and with all the news, it is everywhere. XRP is everywhere, but the investment as far as the fear and greed index and everything, we're still in a period of extreme fear. It's because it's still following the overall market right now. It's not following its utility because it's not being actually utilized yet. And until it does start being used, I don't think we're really going to see the full appreciation. And actually, that was funny too. When I was actually, I can pull that up for you real quick. Let me find it here. When I was going over, so earlier, if you are new in the stream and you haven't heard it to this point, if you're just now catching up, earlier, I took all of my research and plugged it into GPT, all the research I've done over the last 2 months, and I asked it to create a timeline based on what we found out. And it gave me this. So it said phase 1 is when the liquidity shift begins. We just got our rate cuts, quantitative tightening ended, Fed resumes, quantitative easing, T-bill purchases, stealth quantitative easing. Reverse carry trade increases, liquidity rises, dollar softens, funding pressure eases. So all of this means reverse carry trade, more money in the system, easier loans being dealt. We're pumping liquidity flood. That's what that means. Liquidity flood for us weakens the dollar. That strengthens the carry trade problem. We have regulation coming in January. SEC already announced they're going to be rolling out an innovation exemption for cryptocurrencies, for US-based cryptocurrencies. That reclassification ruling happens on January 15th. That could destroy Bitcoin and create a potential decoupling possibility. There's a start of a clearer rule book for institutions because we're expecting the Clarity Act to be done by the end of January. We had earlier today, if you caught the stream, we had the clip of the 2 senators saying there is nothing holding back the Clarity Act. They are working in bipartisanly to get it done. It was a Republican and a Democrat senator. So they were very, very high on that. The Clarity Act was going to be done by the end of January. So on top of that, the current market structure as it sits now, there's $1.2 billion worth of assets under management across spot ETFs. We've had 16, now 17 days of consecutive inflows if we count today's that we just looked at. Over $1 billion worth of XRP has been removed from exchanges in the last 3 weeks. We clarified that with the chart from Glassnode. Exchange supply drops below the price for the first time ever. This is the lowest rating we have had on exchange supply ever. First time ever. Phase 2, regulatory clarity. So this is what it's expecting in February or May, was regulatory clarity. The Fed easing continues, more ETF purchases, more tokenization, and an expected repricing and utility to start in June and September of 2026. So now I'm not predicting $750 million or $750 XRP by December, but I do think we are going to see a nice appreciation from now through the rest of the year into next year. I think we're going to see a pretty big appreciation over the next 2-3 years as tokenization and adoption ramps up and utility ramps up. And I am here for the long haul. This channel is for the long view of cryptocurrency. We're here for what's going to happen a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So I hope you guys enjoy the content. I hope you enjoy the information and the prompt updates for you with the simple explanation. No hype, no fuss, no muss. I'm not going to tell you to buy anything. And another shutdown in January. I hope we don't have another shutdown in January. Jesus is King says a bunch of rocket ships. But yeah, we are here for the long haul, and I will see you guys at noon tomorrow. I appreciate every single one of you, and let's buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride. Later.